like him. Hey guys, what's going on? Will and Ears here. I mean,
negative.
Come on, baby.
Heck no.
Come on.
What about me? Like, no.
Let's go. Come on. Let's
Have you always been saying this? God.
Gotta have an icebreaker, baby. Hey guys, what's going on?
I don't even like you. I don't even like you.
Hey guys, what's going on? Flawless Crested Geckos here. Will, Audra. You ain't gonna tell them hi, baby. Oh man, we having a blast, guys.
No, he's having a blast, but he's about to not have a good time.
So, this is a different type of video. We down here with the crickets cricking away and getting some work done.
Cricking.
Yeah, cricking. Is that how you say it?
Yeah.
But we wanted to address a couple questions. We tend to get questions sent to us on, especially on Instagram, with people either not wanting to be seen or not wanting to post their questions, and we're happy to help.
Absolutely.
But the first question, rather simple, but a lot of people have some issues with it, is impaction with your crested geckos. Now we don't deal with it pretty much at all, but it is definitely something that we may have to deal with, and
in the future
we'll explain why. We disclaimer, there's a million different ways to be successful at keeping and breeding your crested geckos. And why I say that is because you can choose bioactive, which has a ton of pros. Absolutely. Everything you do is going to have pros and cons. But you're going to be a little bit more susceptible to impaction with bioactive.
Just due to loose substrate.
Right. And that's the main thing. And we are pretty much staying away from bioactives in general. We do have a few semi-bioactive setups for males here, but the reason say we may have to still deal with impaction is because we give everyone either a lay box, a humid lay box with a certain mixture that, if you go back to our videos, Audra did an awesome video on how to make our lay boxes.
Yeah, it was very short and simple because everybody knows I'm short and simple.
So check that out. But we put those in all of our female enclosures, and some of our males can have what they call humid hides if you put it in your male enclosure. That way you can increase your humidity and help them shed out. But that's another opportunity for them to get substrate in their mouth when they're digging down in your lay boxes to lay eggs. So there's really no 100% way to prevent it like the entire time. But
some people will say, that it's nutrient based, that a lot of cresties will, delve towards trying to eat the substrate due to a lack of nutrients. I have not really seen that so
I think it's
much.
a lack of brain cells.
I think it's more of a lack of brain
unfortunately.
cells.
It's just something that they do because they have to dig down and get comfortable and lay eggs, or get down to a humid place where they're getting enough moisture for their body where they can shed out. And it's just playing the odds. Sometimes it happens. Even now with lay boxes, sometimes we'll pull eggs, and sometimes we check on our geckos, and you see, especially on some of our high white stuff, you'll see like dirt in their mouths, and then we'll annoy them and
get it
them
out.
to open
I'm
their
like,
mouth,
don't do that.
And they'll bite you, and you just kind of try to clear off at least their lips and check and make sure they don't have dirt or substrate inside their mouth. So again, this is a very basic, general, concept, but that's how we address it, and how we try to prevent it is basically not, going overboard with bioactives for us.
Obviously, you should definitely always make sure that your animals are getting the proper nutrients that that won't cause any question to come into play about that being the reason why an impaction might occur.
Plus, a certain level of it, it's probably going to happen on a day-to-day basis anyway. They're a healthy gecko should quote unquote should be able to pass that substrate. It's not something, you know, that's rare or never happens. I'm sure it still happens, but you know, your geckos are most likely going to pass it. And when in doubt, go ahead and seek professional. Take it to the vet, get it checked out.
One you trust, an exotic vet.
Definitely.
One that specializes.
So have one, you know, definitely on call, someone that you can depend on. The other question we had was on temperature, which is a very, very interesting question. So everyone knows, or everyone, I think they know, that a good temp for your crested gecko is going to be in your 70s. Maybe all the way down to 70, which we gave it a go this past season for cooling off our geckos. It's the first time we pushed the temperature down because we control the temperature in the facility. So we pushed it down to 70 for the winter months and then ramped it back up, I think, to 74, 75. While down here working on our long working days in here, or scrubbing tubs or whatever we're doing, the temps can go up to 80. We've even had it go, you know, on occasion 81, 82.
And it's just because, you know, we're moving around in here, breathing harder. He expels a lot of air. So
she's full of a lot of air.
Whatever. That's why you're sweating right now.
But yeah, because it's hot in here.
Beads of sweat rolling on this big forehead.
Silly. But and in those situations, what we found, we also have other measures in the facility. Like we shut everything off that we could. We have catchies, you know, and everything else with little small fans that's making noise, crickets chirping. So we try to minimize the noise for you guys when we try to pump out some of these videos when we do them from the vault. We have big industrial like shop fans. Yeah, you can't see it over here, but we have shop fans on different ends of the facility. Actually, we have 4 fans in here that are constantly moving the air around, so we don't have any stagnant air. So we constantly have air circulating throughout the facility, which also I believe helps with moving the humidity up and down, definitely bringing it down in a hurry.
It's helping. It helps it stay fairly neutral because we do have our humidifier and our dehumidifier, and then the movement of that air really creates like that circulation that is very much needed when you have such high levels of humidity anyway.
Right. So I say that because I think 80 degrees is definitely something to watch your gecko's behavior and to make sure that they're doing all right. But I think 80 degrees with air moving is quite different than 80 degrees with stagnant air. Just a assumption of ours. We haven't had any issues with our geckos even when they get, you know, 80 degrees, 81 degrees. But again, it's constant, you know, moving air.
You just don't want to have a spike in temperature either way, whether it's a spike, you know, where it pops up really high all of a sudden, or whether all of a sudden it gets super cold. You can have like one time we had a situation where we were trying to work our systems out with our air conditioning, and our air conditioning in the winter, it was the heat obviously, and it got cut off somehow. I can't remember exactly. The app malfunctioned or something like that, and it dropped to like 67 that night, overnight. And we came back in and we had 2 tail drops from our geckos. So, and that can happen if you have like a sudden temperature drop where it's not what they're used to. So just maintain a consistent amount of heat versus cool, and consistently, and if you're going to move up in temperature or you're going to move down in temperature, then do it gradually.
Definitely. And we found that the crested geckos are more active, they eat more food, move around more in the hotter months when the temperature is a little higher. Even their breeding activity increases, and
their crazy level increases too.
Yeah, definitely.
Have mercy.
But then in the winter months and the colder months, they don't eat as much. They're a lot slower, and I guess they're just kind of saving their energy and just kind of growing at their own pace. But they do have a change in seasons in our facility that we're doing down here. So that was the 2 main questions. Everybody's situation as far as facility or the way they keep their geckos are going to be different. and we think different measures need to be applied differently to the situation. Depends on your temps, your climate, your elevation. I'm sure everything changes depending on where you are.
Absolutely.
So again, this is just a rule of thumb of what we go by, and trying to put some of the questions out that we receive for everyone to hopefully benefit from,
and how we've remedied those situations for us, how it's worked best for us,
and how it's not the only way, but we want to give you guys something out there as far as from what we do as far as an inside look. But hopefully you enjoyed the video. It's Will, Audra, Flawless Crested Geckos. We are out.
Bye.